Roman Reigns is afraid of Solo Sikoa. My man accidentally bumped into Solo and wanted to make a whole ass apology. Maybe we're looking at our next WWE Undisputed Champion. And of course, people, SmackDown continues on being the A show. I know a lot of you disagree, but I didn't really like Monday Night Raw this week. But I feel like SmackDown was pretty fun. We got some fresh, exciting rivalries, big Bloodline tease, and LA Knight is not getting buried, probably, possibly, hopefully. This episode aired on May 19th, so that's a great present from the WWE. We'll talk about SmackDown in a second, but first, a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Wrestling GM, where you can actually prove that you can book it better. Wrestling GM is the best wrestling simulation game in the world. The only game where you can be a business owner, TV show writer, and universe creator at the same time. Pick who fights, who becomes champion, manage each wrestler's career, write your own storylines and feuds, and even create your own wrestlers and companies. Find out why 250k plus players continually keep playing Wrestling GM. The game is very deep and the opportunities to play it are endless. It is the perfect mix of creativity and strategy. You can control and create all the outcomes within the game. I also played this game before on my channel. The playlist of Wrestling GM series is in the description below. Wrestling GM is available on all iOS and Android devices, and there's a link to download the game in the description below. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about SmackDown. The show kicked off with the Bloodline. As much as I don't care about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline storyline anymore, I think it's kinda different right now, so I can appreciate it. And seeing the storyline of Roman Reigns kinda struggling lately, I like that. Roman Reigns tells the crowd to acknowledge him, but we see Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Roman Reigns is happy because that was the plan all along. He tells them to acknowledge him and demands they drop the titles and leave. Obviously, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens refused to do so. Reigns says, I figured that would happen. Roman Reigns talked to Sami Zayn and he basically said that he experienced the highest of highs and the lowest of lows in his career, but the one regret he has was him. But Sami regrets not pulling the trigger sooner. Sami Zayn always thought about what he would say to Roman Reigns, but now that they're standing together, he has nothing to say. Reigns got everything he ever wanted, but he won't get the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. You're not as good as us, and quite frankly, you're not as good as the Usos either. The Usos attacked Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Roman Reigns is not very happy about that. He didn't tell them to come out here. It seems like it doesn't matter what the Usos are going to try to do, to get on Roman's side. He just doesn't appreciate it. Nothing in the Bloodline is working anymore. But then Roman bumps into Solo Sikoa and it looked like he took a little poop in his pants, man. He was scared. It's such a little detail, but it's so important. It basically says that Roman Reigns really feels like Solo Sikoa is a legit threat. Man, there was a lot of tension and I just don't believe Roman Reigns would react that way if he bumped into Jey Uso, right? Again, Roman Reigns says, who's calling the shots right here? Who told you to come out? And then like a toddler, he said, I had something I wanted to say! Reigns is mad. So this is pretty interesting. It's kinda unpredictable where this is going to go, right? And that's why I'm still entertained by this. Then we saw the debut of Pretty Deadly, and I'm gonna be honest, guys, I still don't get it. I didn't see anything from them in NXT, so maybe it's just the main roster issue, but I was not a fan of the backstage segment. I was not a fan of the entrance. They faced the Brawling Brutes, and unfortunately, it's one of these gimmicks where I'm like, I know this is not gonna last. It's either going to take a major change, or they're going to get buried, which is, hopefully not the case. But in this case, of course, I'm a casual. Maybe it's going to take more than just a couple of episodes of SmackDown for me to, understand the gimmick, understand the characters. All I'm seeing right now is Breezango, but less entertaining. They took the W, of course, which is great. We'll see where this is going. Ah, man, WWE did Zelina Vega dirty right here. After getting such a huge pop, it seemed like she's ready for that push. So we saw Asuka versus Zelina Vega, which already told us what is going to happen. It's Asuka who's, challenging for the Raw Women's Championship. So she basically beats the crap out of Zelina Vega, who actually, did have some offense, but she tapped out, and then, the submission continues until we see Bianca Belair. So I don't know what happened right here. Was it botched? Because Asuka spits on Bianca, but it barely connects, so she didn't really sell it. So I don't know what happened right here. But again, I'm not complaining about the storyline. The only issue I have is change the championships. Come on, it's a Raw championship. Call it a Women's World Championship. Change the colors, change the design. I don't care. It was time for the Grayson Waller effect. I like the theme song. I like the presentation. I liked everything about this segment. So his special guest was a AJ Styles, and he gave AJ some compliments. I don't know if you guys remember, but these two actually have history. AJ says he's prepared, he was training, he's going to win that championship. Seth Rollins is making movies now, but hopefully he's training too. And Grayson Waller is understanding. He's like, man, I got chills. He says, man, I can't wait to hear at the end of the night, take notes, your new World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins. So it seems like this could be the next rivalry, which basically confirms AJ is not winning the championship. Why would you randomly tease a feud? And that's not the only thing I'm talking about. We saw Karrion Kross with his, man, I don't like these type of segments, promos, whatever, but he was basically challenging AJ Styles. So it's obvious AJ is not taking the championship and moving to Raw. But to be honest, guys, AJ versus Karrion Kross, I feel like it has potential. We see the Street Profits, and then we got LA Knight with a huge crowd pop. LA Knight is smiling. He introduces us to Boogs, who actually has a pretty good theme song. And you can tell LA Knight is annoyed right here. I actually predicted what's gonna happen right here. I think it was pretty obvious. I just didn't know if it's gonna happen during this episode. So we got the match. Rick Boogs was pretty fun. I kinda liked the dude. I just don't see this gimmick going anywhere. He could actually be great in the tag team division, just not with LA Knight. Well, anyway, they lose the match, and Rick Boogs was the one who got pinned. So LA Knight picks him up, hits his finisher, and hopefully this means an LA Knight push. That's what we want, that's what the people want, that's what everybody wants. My man got over with WWE, barely doing anything, so he absolutely deserves a push, man. He earned it. There was a women's tag team champions in action against a couple of jobbers. I hate these matches. I have always felt like they're not doing anything. It's like watching Omos beating jobbers, but then once he has a match against a legit WWE superstar, he ends up losing, so what's the point? But I'll take that over, wrestlers beating the shit out of Dolph Ziggler every week. So of course they won the match as expected. It's gonna be interesting to see when they're losing the tag team championships. Speaking of tag team championships, Raquel Rodriguez had to relinquish the titles, and now we're going to get a women's tag team championship fatal 4-way. Looking at this picture, the tag team division looks kinda okay. It's gonna be interesting to see who's going to replace Liv Morgan though. Then we see Austin Theory, and he said last week, I thought I'm going to get a lot more respect from you guys. I mean, look at the talent I defeated. I get Bobby Lashley is, jealous of me, but Sheamus, why Sheamus? We have so much in common. We both beat John Cena. I did it this year, and he did like, I don't know, 12 years ago. I was like 13. Of course, Sheamus interrupts. He grabs a microphone. You want something to say, bro? Kick to Austin Theory. I mean, that's great. I just wish Austin Theory was the Intercontinental Champion, because that's what we need at Sheamus as the IC champion. But this rivalry, I'm all for it. Sheamus can definitely get a huge banger out of Theory. Then it was time for the main event, LWO versus the Usos, which was actually a pretty fun match. Obviously didn't feel that important, right? It was fun because we're seeing a bunch of talented wrestlers, but it's not like we really care who's winning this match. It was all about how Roman Reigns is going to react. And of course we got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and they helped LWO to pick up the W. And Roman Reigns is disappointed in his familia. Solo was about to do something, but Roman stops him. So this is pretty interesting. I really can't wait to see what's gonna happen at Night of Champions, man. Again, I love this show, man. So much storyline progression. Doesn't have that much filler. In general, I'm just having so much more fun watching SmackDown than Raw. Thank you for watching The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.